Hi there, this is Brother Eric, and I am speaking today on giving to the poor. Why give to the poor? How give to the poor? Etc. Okay, starting in Matthew 19:21, Jesus answered him and said, "If you wish to be perfect, that is, have the spiritual maturity that accompanies godly character with no moral or ethical deficiencies." This is the Amplified Version. "Go and sell what you have and give the money to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. And come, follow me, becoming my disciple, believing and trusting in me and walking the same path of life that I walk." Now, Jesus is with us in our heart, but not to follow. So this is a tough verse for a lot of people to tackle, because we could sell all of our things and give to the poor, but then who would we go and follow? So got to be careful on that one. Exodus 30:15. "The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less than half a shekel, when you give this contribution to the Lord to make atonement for yourselves." And that was in a time, apparently, if you didn't have a bird to sacrifice, or if you were poor and you didn't have much to sacrifice. Apparently this was how they were making atonement, which was apparently sanctioned by Moses. Anyway, Deuteronomy 15:9. "Beware that there is no wicked thought in your heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, remission, and pardon, is approaching, and your eye is hostile, unsympathetic toward your poor brother, and you give him nothing, since he would not have to repay you. For he might cry out to the Lord against you, and it will become a sin for you." Deuteronomy 24:15. Actually, that last Deuteronomy 15:9, that was basically when, during the last year, they would let their slaves go. Sometimes they would make slaves of their brothers and sisters, or their own people, and they would go. It would be time to let them go, but I don't know. You know what? That one's a tough one. If you learn what it is and know exactly what it is, tell me. 15. Deuteronomy 15:9. Okay, Deuteronomy 24:15. "You shall give him his wages on the day that he earns them, before the sun sets, for he is poor and counting on it, so that he does not cry out to the Lord against you, and it becomes a sin for you." Kind of the same one. Psalm 112:9. "He has given freely to the poor. His righteousness endures forever. His horn will be exalted in honor." Proverbs 22:9. "He who is generous will be blessed, for he gives some of his food to the poor." That's self-explanatory and good to remember. He who is generous will be blessed. Proverbs 22:16. "He who oppresses or exploits the poor to get more for himself, or who gives to the rich to gain influence and favor, will only come to poverty." So don't oppress the poor, and don't freely give to the rich when they could pay you for your goods or wares or services. Proverbs 28:27. "He who gives to the poor will never want. but he who shuts his eyes from their need will have many curses. Proverbs 29:13. The poor man and the oppressor have this in common: the Lord gives light to the eyes of both. Matthew 6:2. Oh, I like this one. So whenever you give to the poor and do acts of kindness, do not blow a trumpet before you to advertise it, as the hypocrites do, like actors acting out in a role, in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be honored and recognized and praised by men. I assure you, and most solemnly I say to you, they already have their full reward. They have their reward in full, that is. So never blow a trumpet before you give something to the poor, and never make a big deal out of it, even to yourself. Matthew 6:3. But when you give to the poor and do acts of kindness, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Give in complete secrecy. Matthew 19:21. Jesus answered him, if you wish to be perfect, that is, have the spiritual maturity and that accompanies godly character with no moral or ethical deficiencies, go and sell what you have and give the money to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. And come, follow me, becoming my disciple, believing and trusting in me, and walking in the same path of life that I walk. Matthew 26, verse 9. For this perfume might have been sold at a high price, the money given to the poor. Now that was, I believe it was Judas Iscariot saying that at that time. And the only reason why he was saying that is because he could have stolen money from the purse to do whatever he was doing with the money. I don't know. But he wasn't interested in the poor. He was only interested in lining his pockets, apparently. Mark 10:21. Looking at him, Jesus felt a love, high regarded compassion for him, and he said to him, you lack one thing. Go and sell all your property and give the money to the poor, and you will have abundant treasure in heaven. And come, follow me, becoming my disciple, believing and trusting in me, and walking in the same path of life that I walk. Mark 14, verse 5. For this perfume might have been sold for more than 300 denarii, a laborer's wages, for almost a year, and the money given to the poor. And they scolded her. Again, that was just a ploy, because they wanted the money. And I think it was Judas Iscariot. But anyway, skip that one. Luke 12:33. We've already covered that one. Well, maybe not. Sell your possessions, show compassion, and give donations to the poor. Provide money belts for yourselves that do not wear out, and unfailing and inexhaustible treasure in the heavens, where no thief comes near and no moth destroys. Okay, that is an important one. Very important. Okay, it's saying that when you sell things and give donations to the poor, you are providing yourself inexhaustible belts, inexhaustible treasure, that is, in the heavens, where no thief comes near and no moth destroys. That is essentially storing treasures in heaven. Okay, Luke 12:33 is what it is. You want to do that as often as possible, and for as many people as you can. can start with tithing. Make sure you're giving your tithes, but then above and beyond that, you still have money somewhere. If you're called to do it, and if you feel like it's important in the kingdom of God, then whatever it is, do it. Lately, I've been drawn to looking at translations for the Bible. Wycliffe Bible Translators is an excellent service that they provide for people out there in the world. Most recently, the Congo has been up for getting translated services, so getting the Bible translated in their own common tongue. So that's one I really enjoy supporting. So I encourage you guys to support them as well. And then at the end, I'll make a list of Bible translators, or donations, places to donate that are just fantastic, good Christian donating spots. So I'll do that at the end here. Okay. Next is Luke 19:8. Zacchaeus stopped and said to the Lord, "See, Lord, I am now giving half my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anyone out of anything, I will give back 4 times as much." John 12:5. Skip that one. We already covered it in another chapter. Here's an interesting one. 1 Corinthians 13:3. If I give all my possessions to feed the poor, and if I surrender my body to be burned, but I do not have love, it does me no good at all. So when you are building your treasures in heaven, make sure you're doing it with a heart of love and cheerfulness, and happy to give. Just give in love. And that's all that makes my point for now. Is I just want to encourage everybody to be building up treasures in heaven by giving to the poor and giving to worthy causes. So now I'll list the charities that are very worthy of mention. Okay. Well, I really recommend Air One Radio Network. You can find them at air1.com. If you have never experienced their radio network, you've got to check it out. It's really cool. They provide their services over the internet, so you can just click listen now on the top left of the screen, and you'll be able to check out Air One Radio. It's really great Christian music, so check it out. Let's see. Next is Compassion International. You can find them at compassion.com, and they are fantastic. They're providing services to young kids, boys and girls, usually, who need a hand up. They need food and schooling. So Compassion International provides both for them. So, and they're really cool kids. My kid, he writes me back, and I write him, and it's just great. we have a great time. I don't know what else to say about that, but yeah, Compassion International is fantastic. Definitely worthy of your time and attention. And any money you would send them, either as a donation or as adopting your own kind of kid, to care over. It only costs $38 a month to keep the kid in food and your kid in food and schooling supplies. So you gotta check it out. It's really good stuff. Okay, Eagle's Wings is also fantastic. They're providing food for families in Jerusalem and other parts of Israel, I believe. So it's a really fantastic charitable website. Okay, now there's Jews for Jesus. They're also a very awesome charity that I like to provide for. There's one called Kidsave.org, and they are getting orphans and nice, good kids. Maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they're not all nice. Maybe some of them are rowdy, but they're getting kids adopted who need homes. So it's good stuff. Living Water International is an awesome charity that's providing water all over the globe. They're providing wells and water all over the globe for third world and people who need it. So check that out. Prison Fellowship is also a fantastic charity. They also do the Christmas time presents and stuff for the prisoners, kids and stuff. It's fantastic charity. You gotta check that out. And and I already mentioned the Wycliffe Bible Translators. I already mentioned that. Fantastic. Almost my number one charity that I like giving to, because that's prophetic, to give to them and have them continue to reach out to the globe to change lives by getting the Bible in their local language. So, okay, well, that's about it. So I'll sign off for now. Thanks for watching.